Hello everyone, welcome to this video about learning phrases that are very foreign to you, learning licks that are not part of your normal vocabulary. And I was playing coquette in a really slow tempo because I just transcribed 4 new phrases, or actually it's 3, and 1 phrase that I knew a little bit longer. And I was trying to fit them into a solo next to my own vocabulary that I'm already very used to. And I want to talk a little bit about how that works, because I made a video called if you want to be good at jazz improv, forget about learning modes. It's linked here under. And in that video I talk about the importance of learning lines. And there's another video, it's called Starters. And in that video I talk about the concept of starters, something I came up with to teach myself how to play jazz guitar. And I thought it'd be nice to kind of combine those 2 concepts into this video. Because of course it's one thing to learn new phrases, new licks, new lines that you really like. You're listening on YouTube or you're listening on Spotify or on a CD, and you hear something that you really like and you immediately stop the recording and see if you can figure out what's happening. Maybe you figure it out, it takes some time, but finally you have it in your fingers. But how do you use this into a song? You'll find that it's pretty difficult to do it while improvising. You could do it maybe if you only focus on playing that one phrase and nothing else. You're not worried about making a coherent solo or about your swing feel or about anything. You're just worrying about those notes. You might be able to do it. But as soon as you have to play a real solo, you tend not to play those new things. At least that's how it works for me, and that's how it works for many people I've talked to. And in the video called Starters, I talk about the concept of taking small phrases that you're familiar with and connecting them to new or to other phrases. But I didn't give you particular lines in particular, I was just kind of improvising. But now I've chosen 4 phrases that are very far away from my normal vocabulary, to what I'm used to. I'm used to the diminished things of gypsy jazz and some altered stuff, major 7 arpeggios. But I took a line from Peter Bernstein, a line from Lage Lund, a line from Jonathan Kreisberg, and a line from Martijn van Ittersen, which is a Dutch guitar player, a local hero. And I connected them all to the same starter. And the starter in this case, I've chosen a G major 7 arpeggio, this one. And I play that line over E minor, because I'm always playing these lines on a 2-5-1 in D, because I'm playing coquette. So on E minor, I'm playing a G major 7 arpeggio. Something I'm very familiar with. That's something that gypsy jazz players do all the time. And not only gypsy jazz players, it's just something that is common in jazz, playing a major 7 arpeggio on a minor chord. In this case, you start on the minor 3rd. So it's E minor, I play G major 7. Now I can use many variations of this arpeggio. Sometimes I play the whole thing. Sometimes I play half of it, or I go up and down, just to connect them to the particular phrase. So let's go over the phrases one by one. I was trying to play them in the beginning. I'm not sure I played all of them. I chose a very slow tempo so I could give myself time to think, but you know, it's still, I might have skipped one. So the first line I picked is a line by Peter Bernstein, and the line itself goes like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you want to analyze that, he plays it on A7. So he's playing kind of D flat with a sharp 11, kind of this sound. So instead of going, he's playing kind of a chromatic. But you know, actually, I don't want to analyze the licks because I was talking about that too in the other video, Forget About Modes. I'm not so interested in analyzing all the things that are happening in the lines. I'm more interested in the sound of the line, and I'm attracted to the sound of the line. That's all that's important to me. Then I'm interested on which chord can you play it against. So it's on A7 in this case. And then I'm just interested in where does it start, on which note does it start. So in this case it starts on the 7 of A7, right? The G. If you have a G chord, A7 chord, it starts on the 7. So my starter has to connect to that note. So I just play the whole thing. I could even play the F sharp before if I play a triplet. One, two, three, four. Okay, I will demonstrate all the lines with the backing track at the end of the video, and then you can play along on Soundslice. I'll get back to that. Okay, the second line is a line by Lage Lund, and that line goes like this. It starts on an F. Yeah. Wait. That's it. It's brand new for me. This thing, that line is one of the favorite lines of Lage Lund, I think. He plays it almost in every solo on major chords. So I already connected this to my own starters. That's why I have trouble starting it just with the line. That's the problem. If you learn a new line, it's very difficult to just start it out of the blue. So if I start with my starter, it's much easier. So I found this. I stop here because I have to go to this F. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Great line. Okay, the third line is a line by Jonathan Kreisberg. And that's a line that goes over a whole 2-5 actually. So it would be 1, 2, 3, 4. So of course my starter wouldn't fit in those bars, but I still connected to the starter just in the beginning to practice, and then the line will actually go over the 2-5-1. So I would still be on A7 during the D chord, but it actually doesn't matter. That's a nice effect. But maybe eventually I will play it without the starter. But in the beginning, just to get used to the line, I connected like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then the fourth line is a line. I have 5 lines. The fourth line is a line by Uva Kenius. And that line I know a little bit longer, so I'm more familiar with it. But I still usually play it connected to my starter. And it's the starter now goes like this. I go back because I have to go to this F sharp. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the last line is a line by Martijn Verietersen, and that's a line that has to go. I have to go to this E flat. So I play 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's say I have all these lines. They are smooth, right? They're not all smooth yet. 3 of the lines I transcribed just 15 minutes ago. And so I would practice them with the backing track, and I would always start with my starter in the beginning. And then after a while, I would start to kind of phrase the lines, right? I would not play it exactly the way it is. Maybe I would put a triplet in there, or I would repeat a note, or would skip a note, or do all kinds of things with it just to play with the line, to make it a part of my system. And at one point, the line becomes so familiar that I actually don't need the starter to connect to it anymore. And the line itself becomes a kind of a starter. It's just my hand knows where the line is, and my ears always hear the line at the right place. So that takes a lot of time. That can take months for that to happen, but it will eventually happen. And especially if you use this concept of the starters, because you always have a safe, comfortable place to start the line, and then you just go for this one note that the new line starts, and then your hand is in the right spot at the right time. Okay, so now I am going to record a new backing track, because now I have Coquetti and I only want the 251, and I'm gonna play all the lines with the backing track, so you can practice along if you want to on a site called Sound Slice. More about that when I get back. So I'm going to play all those phrases one by one, and I always repeat them 2 times, so I'll play them 3 times. And if you go to the site Sound Slice, it's linked under this video, you will see the same video, and there's a tab there which is synced with the notes I play. And on that site you can slow down the track even more. I recorded a very slow 251, and you can loop the licks as much as you want, and it's the ideal place to practice things. So if you want to practice the licks with me, go to Sound Slice and watch the rest of the video there. Okay, I'm gonna start with Peter Bernstein's phrase now. And then now, Lage Lund's phrase. Continuing with Jonathan Kreisberg's phrase. Okay, the phrase of, or the lick, let's say lick of Uwe Kennis. And the last line, Martijn van Itersen. Okay, that was it for the lines. Of course, this was my starter. Maybe you know another line that it fits to. The most important thing is not these lines per se or this starter. It's the whole concept of finding lines, licks that you like, practicing them, and then have a convenient way of getting familiar with the phrases so much that you can play them in an improvisation by connecting them to starters that you are already comfortable with. As always, if you like this video, please give it a like. Check out the other videos on my channel. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if you want to do a little bit more, you could always check out my Patreon page. It's linked under this video as well. And become one of my patrons and get exclusive access to all the videos I'm gonna upload, especially for patrons. I already have one, but there will be more. Okay, see you next time. Bye.